She reached for the book and knew, without opening it, that every page contained a life she'd lived. Every choice, every mistake, every moment of joy and pain. Her hand trembled as she pulled it from the shelf. The cover had no title, just a symbol she recognized but couldn't name. Imagine standing in a room where silence has weight, where the air feels thick with knowing. The walls stretch upward forever, lined with shelves that disappear into golden light above. And on those shelves, books, millions of them, billions maybe, each one glowing softly, pulsing with something alive. You can feel them humming, not with sound, with memory, with every experience ever lived by every soul that ever existed. Your footsteps make no noise on the marble floor. You're not really walking, you're floating, drifting toward the one book that calls to you, the one that contains everything you are, everything you've ever been, and standing beside you, a presence.com, ancient, waiting for you to be ready to look inside. Her name is Jennifer. She's 38, lives in Denver, works in marketing, has a good life, good job, good friends, but for the past 5 years, she's been having the same recurring dream. She's in a library, not a normal library, something else, somewhere else, and there's a book with her name on it. Not Jennifer. A different name, a name written in light. Every time she has the dream, she gets closer to the book. The first time, she was standing at the entrance, too afraid to go in. The second time, she made it past the door. The third time, she walked down the first aisle, each dream a few steps closer, until last month, when she finally reached the shelf, finally saw the book, finally touched it, and then she woke up, heart pounding, crying, feeling like she'd just lost something precious, something important, something she needed to see. That's when she found the regression practitioner, someone who specialized in life between lives, who could guide people not just to past lives, but to the space between them, the place where souls rest, where they review, where they plan, the place where the library exists. Jennifer didn't really believe it would work. She thought the dreams were just her subconscious playing tricks. But she was desperate. She needed to know what was in that book, needed to understand why it kept calling to her. So here she is, lying in a chair, eyes closed, breathing deep, following the practitioner's voice down, down, down into the deepest parts of her consciousness, past this life, past her childhood, past her birth, into the space before, the space between lives. The transition is sudden. One moment she's aware of her body in the chair. The next moment, she's standing. Not in a room, not on Earth, somewhere else entirely. The library. It's exactly like her dreams, but more real, more vivid, more overwhelming. The space is vast, impossibly vast. She can't see walls, just shelves extending in every direction, curving and spiraling in patterns that shouldn't be possible but somehow make perfect sense. The light here is golden, warm. It doesn't come from any source. It just exists, filling everything. And in that light, the books glow, each one a different color, different intensity. She understands without being told that the glow represents the soul's energy, its unique vibration, its essence. She looks down at herself. She has a form, but it's not solid. More like light shaped into something resembling a human, translucent, shimmering. She can see through her own hands. Welcome back. The voice comes from beside her. She turns and sees a figure, tall, robed in white light. The face is hard to focus on, like looking at something through water, but the energy is unmistakable. This is her guide, her teacher, the being who has been with her through countless lifetimes. I've been dreaming about this place, Jennifer says, and her voice sounds different here. Clearer, more resonant. I know, the guide replies. I've been calling you. It's time for you to remember. Time for you to see what you've been avoiding. Avoiding? Jennifer feels confused. I've been trying to get here, trying to see the book. The guide smiles. Part of you has been trying, but another part has been running. Because once you see what's in that book, once you remember everything, you can't unknow it. You can't go back to the comfortable forgetting. Are you ready for that? Jennifer hesitates, but she's come too far to turn back now. Yes, I'm ready. The guide gestures, and they begin to move through the library. They pass shelf after shelf. Books of every color imaginable. Some shine bright, like stars. Others glow dimly, almost gray. Jennifer notices that some books are thick, while others are thin. The size doesn't matter. The guide explains, reading her thoughts. A short life can hold more growth than a long one. It's not about quantity. It's about what was learned, what was experienced, how the soul evolved. They pass a section where the books are grouped together. Soul families, the guide says, groups that incarnate together, playing different roles for each other: parent, child, friend, enemy, lover, all teaching each other, all growing together. Jennifer sees a cluster of books glowing in similar shades of blue. She feels drawn to them. Are those mine, my soul family? Some of them, you'll see them again. But first, your book. They continue deeper into the library. The shelves here feel different, more personal. And then Jennifer sees it. The book from her dreams. It's sitting on a shelf at eye level, glowing with a soft purple light. Across the spine, a symbol, not words, just a mark that represents her soul's unique signature. She reaches for it, then stops. What will I see? Everything, the guide says simply. Every life you've lived, every choice you made, every consequence that rippled out from those choices. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the painful, all of it. Jennifer's hand trembles. All at once. No, we'll go through it together, page by page, life by life, starting from the beginning. Jennifer takes the book. It's heavier than she expected. Or maybe that's just the weight of what it contains. She opens to the first page and gasps. The page doesn't have words. It has light. Moving, living light that forms images, scenes, memories. She sees herself, but not herself. A different body, a different time. She's young, maybe 7 years old, living in a small village made of mud and straw. The year, she somehow knows, is around 3000 BC, somewhere in what will one day be called Mesopotamia. Your first life, the guide says softly. Your first time coming to Earth. Jennifer watches the life unfold. She sees the child growing, learning to farm, to weave, to cook. It's a simple life, hard, short. The girl dies at 15 from an illness. No name that Jennifer recognizes, no great accomplishments, just a short, simple existence. Why did I choose this? Jennifer asks. You didn't choose it. Not yet. This was before you understood choice. Your soul was young, inexperienced. You came to Earth to learn what it meant to be physical, to have a body, to experience limitation. It was practice. Jennifer turns the page. Another life. This time, a boy in ancient China, a farmer's son, dies at 20 in a flood. Then another life. A woman in Egypt, a servant in a noble house, lives to 30. Then another, and another, and another. She flips through dozens of lives, hundreds maybe, each one short, each one hard. Lives of poverty, disease, war, famine, over and over. She lives and dies and lives again, never making it past 40, never having power or wealth or comfort. These early lives, the guide explains, their foundation. Your soul was learning the basics: survival, physical existence, cause and effect. You had to master the simple lessons before you could move to more complex ones. Jennifer keeps turning pages, and gradually, the lives get longer, more complex. She sees herself as a warrior, a mother, a priest, a merchant, a healer, a king, a slave, playing every role, experiencing every perspective. Then she reaches a page that makes her stop. The light here is different, darker, heavier. This one, the guide says, this is where you need to pay attention. Jennifer watches the scene unfold. She's a man this time, a soldier in ancient Rome, strong, powerful, part of a legion conquering new territories. And she sees herself, this version of herself, doing terrible things, killing, burning villages, taking what isn't his. The images are vivid, brutal. Jennifer wants to look away but can't. I did this, she whispers. You did. In that life, you chose power over compassion, strength over mercy. You learned what it felt like to be the oppressor, to cause suffering. Why would I choose that? Because how can you truly understand compassion if you've never lacked it? How can you value peace if you've never known the ugliness of violence? Every soul must experience both sides, light and shadow, victim and perpetrator. It's the only way to develop true wisdom. Jennifer feels sick. Even though this happened thousands of years ago in a different body, she feels the weight of it, the guilt, the shame. What happened after? She asks. The guide turns the page. You died in battle. And when you came back here, to this library, to review that life, you were devastated. You saw the pain you caused, the lives you destroyed, the karma you created, and you vowed to make it right. The next several pages show lives of service, lives where Jennifer, in different forms, dedicated herself to helping others, healing, teaching, protecting, making up for the harm she once caused. Karma isn't punishment, the guide explains. It's balance, it's learning. You needed to experience causing harm so you could choose differently, and you did. For many lifetimes after, you chose compassion, until it became not just a choice, but your nature. They continue through the book. Jennifer sees lives in medieval Europe, as a monk, as a peasant, as a plague victim. She sees lives in Asia, Africa, the Americas, every culture, every time period, every human experience. Some lives are marked with golden light. These were your breakthrough lives, the guide says. Lives where you made major spiritual progress, where you overcame something difficult, where you chose love over fear in a moment that mattered. Other pages are marked with red. These were your challenging lives, lives where you failed your own goals, where you repeated old patterns, where you got lost in ego or fear or anger. Jennifer sees one marked in deep red. The scene shows her as a woman in the 1600s, wealthy, married to a powerful man, but cruel, vain, using her position to hurt those beneath her. She watches herself in that life ignore the suffering of her servants, hoard wealth while others starved, care only about status and appearance. This life was recent enough that you're still processing it, the guide says. Still working through the lessons. Notice anything familiar. Jennifer does. The woman's obsession with appearance, with status, with what others think. Jennifer feels it in her current life too. The constant need to present a perfect image, to have the right job, the right clothes, the right life, always performing, never quite feeling good enough. Is that why I'm like this now? Jennifer asks. Because of that life, partly. We're still learning to release the need for external validation, to find worth from within, rather than from others' opinions. It's a pattern you've been working on for several lifetimes now. They turn more pages. Jennifer sees lives in the 1800s, the early 1900s, getting closer to the present. She sees herself as a soldier in World War I, dying in a trench at 19. Then as a mother in the 1920s, losing children to disease. Then as a factory worker in the 1940s, a hard life but fulfilling. And then, the most recent life before this one. Jennifer was a woman named Catherine, born in 1935, died in 1982, only 47 years old. Jennifer watches this life with intense focus. Catherine was a teacher, kind, dedicated, loved by her students, but she struggled with speaking up, with standing in her power. She had important things to say but kept them inside, let others talk over her, minimized her own wisdom. Catherine got sick, cancer, and as she was dying, lying in a hospital bed, Jennifer sees her filled with regret, not about what she did, about what she didn't do, the words she didn't speak, the difference she could have made but didn't because she was too afraid. This is why you're here, the guide says gently. This is what you're working on in your current life as Jennifer. Catherine died wishing she'd been braver, wishing she'd used her voice. And so your soul chose to come back quickly, to try again, to learn what Catherine couldn't. Jennifer feels tears on her face, or what feels like tears. She's not sure she has a body here to cry with, but the emotion is overwhelming. Have I done it? She asks. Have I learned to speak up? The guide is quiet for a moment. You're learning, slowly, you've made progress, but there's more work to do. You still hold back, still silence yourself, still care too much what others think. Jennifer knows this is true. How many times has she had something to say in a meeting but stayed quiet? How many times has she disagreed with someone but smiled and nodded? How many times has she diminished her own ideas, her own feelings, her own truth? What happens if I don't learn it this time? Jennifer asks. You'll try again, in another life, another body, another chance. The soul is patient. It has infinite time, but wouldn't you rather learn it now? Wouldn't you rather live the rest of this life fully, speaking your truth, standing in your power? Jennifer nods. Yes, she would. The guide closes the book gently. There's more to see, many more lives, but this is enough for today. You've seen what you needed to see. Now, let me show you something else. They move away from Jennifer's shelf, deeper into the library. They come to a large circular space. In the center is a table. Around the table sit several beings of light, and on the table, books, many books, all glowing different colors. Your soul group, the guide explains. These are the beings you incarnate with most often, the ones playing roles in your current life. Come, look. Jennifer approaches the table. One of the beings stands and embraces her. The love she feels is overwhelming, pure, unconditional. This being has been her mother, her child, her friend, her teacher across many lifetimes. In your current life, the guide says, this soul is your best friend, Rachel. Jennifer gasps. Rachel, her childhood friend, the person who knows her better than anyone. She always felt an inexplicable connection to Rachel. Now she understands why. Another being approaches. This one's energy is more playful. This soul is your daughter, Sophie. Jennifer feels her heart expand. Sophie, her 8-year-old light of her life. She's been with this soul before. Many times. Sometimes as parent and child. Sometimes as siblings. Sometimes as friends. Always connected. Always learning from each other. The guide points to another being, one sitting slightly apart from the group. This soul has played the challenging roles in your life. The one who pushes you, tests you, forces you to grow. Jennifer looks at this being. The energy feels familiar but uncomfortable. Who is this in my current life? Your boss, Mark, of course, Mark, who constantly challenges her, questions her ideas, makes her prove herself over and over. She's always thought he was just difficult. Now she sees it differently. He's teaching her, forcing her to find her voice, to stand up for herself, to stop backing down. You chose him, the guide says. Before you were born, you and this soul agreed. He would play the antagonist, push your buttons, create situations where you'd have to choose, stay small and safe, or speak up and grow. He's not your enemy, he's your teacher. Jennifer feels her perspective shifting. Every difficult person in her life, every challenge, every obstacle, suddenly looks different, not random, not punishment, chosen, designed, part of the plan her soul made before coming here. The guide leads her to a quiet corner of the library. They sit on a bench that seems to materialize from light itself. There's one more thing you need to see, the guide says. The reason you're really here. The reason I've been calling you to this library. The guide holds out a hand, and in the palm appears an image. Jennifer sees herself, her current self, not past lives now, but she sees different versions, different possibilities, different futures branching out like a tree. In one branch, she sees herself staying silent, playing small, living safely. She has a comfortable life, a fine life. But when she's old, lying on her deathbed, she sees the same regret she saw in Catherine, the same wish that she'd been braver. In another branch, she sees herself speaking up, starting small, sharing an idea in a meeting, disagreeing with her boss, standing up for herself. It's uncomfortable at first, scary, but gradually, she sees herself growing, becoming more confident, more authentic, more aligned with who she really is. And when she's old in this version, she sees peace, satisfaction, a life fully lived. You're at a choice point, the guide says. This is why I brought you here now. You've been playing small for too long, repeating the pattern, and your soul is getting restless. It's time to choose. Will you stay safe and comfortable, or will you finally use your voice? Jennifer feels the weight of this moment. She sees her whole journey, all those lives, all those lessons, all leading to this choice, to this moment. I'm scared, she admits. Of course you are. Fear is part of being human, but you're not just human. You're a soul having a human experience. And your soul is fearless. Your soul knows its power. Your soul remembers every life, every challenge overcome, every time you've risen from the ashes. You've done hard things before. You can do this. Jennifer looks at her book, still glowing on the shelf in the distance. All those pages, all those lives, all that experience, all that wisdom, it's not separate from her. It is her. She's not just Jennifer from Denver. She's a soul with thousands of years of existence, hundreds of lifetimes, more wisdom than she can possibly remember consciously, but it's there, in her cells, in her energy, in her knowing. What do I do? Jennifer asks. You wake up, you go back to your life, and you start speaking. Start with small truths, then bigger ones. Use the voice that Catherine was too afraid to use. Use the courage you've developed over countless lifetimes. Don't wait until the end of this life to wish you'd been braver. Be brave now. Jennifer nods. She understands. She's ready. The guide stands. Before you go, I want you to remember something. This library is always here. These books are always accessible. In dreams, in meditation, in quiet moments when you listen to your intuition. The forgetting is necessary for the human experience, but the remembering is there whenever you need it. You're never truly lost. You're never truly alone. Your wisdom, your courage, your truth. It's all stored here, waiting for you to access it. Jennifer stands too. She takes one last look at the library, at her book, at her soul group gathered around the table, at the infinite shelves stretching into forever. Thank you, she whispers. Thank you for having the courage to come here. Thank you for being willing to see. Thank you for choosing to grow. Now go, speak, live fully. Make this lifetime one that Catherine would be proud of. The library begins to fade. The light softens. The shelves blur, and Jennifer feels herself being pulled back through the space between lives, back toward her body, back toward Earth, back toward her life as Jennifer. Jennifer opens her eyes in the practitioner's office. For a moment, she's disoriented. The room feels too solid, too small, too limited after the vastness of the library. She sits up slowly. Her face is wet with tears. Her chest feels cracked open, but not in a bad way, in a way that lets light in. Welcome back, the practitioner says softly. Take your time. Jennifer takes a deep breath, then another. Slowly, she comes back into her body, into this time, this place, this life. I saw it, she says. I saw everything, the library, my book, all my lives. The practitioner nods, listening as Jennifer pours out the experience. The Roman soldier, Catherine, the soul group, the choice point, all of it. As she talks, Jennifer realizes something is different. She feels different, bigger somehow, not in her body, in her awareness, like she has been living in a small room and suddenly discovered it as part of a vast mansion. She's not just Jennifer anymore. She's Jennifer and all the lives she's lived. Jennifer and the eternal soul. Jennifer and the wisdom of thousands of years. Over the next few days, Jennifer moves through her regular life, but nothing feels the same. She goes to work, has meetings, does her job, but she sees it all through new eyes. When Mark criticizes her idea in a meeting, instead of shrinking, she speaks up. I understand your concern, but here's why I think this approach will work. Her voice is steady, clear. She's not aggressive, not defensive, just confident, claiming her space. Mark looks surprised, then nods. Okay, let's try it your way. Something shifts in that moment. A pattern breaks. A new possibility opens. At home, when her daughter Sophie asks her a question about death, instead of giving a simple answer, Jennifer shares something deeper. I believe we're more than just these bodies. I believe our souls live many lives, learning and growing, and the people we love, we find them again and again. Sophie thinks about this. So you and I have known each other before. I think so. I think we've been together many times. And we'll be together again. Sophie smiles. I like that. Jennifer starts making other changes. Small ones at first. She speaks up more in conversations. Shares her opinions without apologizing for them. Says no to things that drain her. Says yes to things that light her up. She starts writing. Something she's always wanted to do but never felt qualified for. She writes about her regression experience, about the library, about past lives and soul purpose. She doesn't know if anyone will read it. She doesn't care. She's doing it for herself, for Catherine Brawl, for all the versions of herself that stayed silent. Her friend Rachel notices the change. You seem different lately. More you, somehow. Jennifer smiles. I am. I remembered something important. Something I'd forgotten. She doesn't tell Rachel everything. Not yet. But she shares pieces, and Rachel listens with the kind of deep recognition that comes from soul of knowing. Because Rachel is part of her soul group, of course she understands. One night, Jennifer stands in front of her bathroom mirror. She looks at her reflection, at this body, this face, this version of herself, and she sees beyond it. She sees Catherine, the Roman soldier, the first little girl in Mesopotamia. All of them, all her. I won't waste this life, she promises them. Promises herself, I'll speak, I'll stand in my power, I'll use my voice, I'll make you proud. And she feels them, all those past selves, all those lived experiences, rising up inside her, supporting her, cheering her on, lending her their courage. She's not alone. She's never been alone. She's part of something vast, something eternal, something beautiful. The library is still there. She can feel it in quiet moments, in meditation, in dreams. The books are still glowing. Her book is still there, being written, page by page, choice by choice, moment by moment. And she gets to decide what goes on those pages. She gets to write the story, not alone, with the support of her guides, her soul group, all the wisdom she's accumulated across lifetimes. But the pen is in her hand now. The choice is hers. She thinks about the two futures the guide showed her, the comfortable one where she plays it safe, the brave one where she speaks her truth. She knows which one she wants, which one her soul came here to experience. So she chooses, every day, sometimes moment by moment. She chooses courage over comfort, truth over approval, authenticity over performance. It's not always easy. Old patterns don't disappear overnight. Sometimes she still holds back, still silences herself. But now, when she does, she notices, she catches herself, and she makes a different choice. Little by little, day by day, she's becoming the person Catherine couldn't be, the person her soul has been trying to embody for lifetimes, and it feels right. It feels like coming home, not to a place, to herself. Months pass. Jennifer's life shifts in ways she couldn't have predicted. She gets a promotion at work, not because she played politics or schmoozed the right people, but because she finally let her competence show, let her voice be heard, let her ideas have space. She starts teaching a workshop on finding your authentic voice. Just a small thing, a few people in her living room, but those people tell others, and the group grows. She's not trying to become famous or successful. She's just doing what feels aligned, what feels true, and life is responding. One night, she has another dream. She's back in the library, standing in front of her book. She opens it to the current pages, the ones being written now. As Jennifer knit, she sees golden light, breakthrough light, the same light that marked her most successful lives. Her guide appears beside her. You're doing it. You're finally doing it. Jennifer smiles. I'm trying. That's all any soul can do. Try, choose, grow. You're on the right path. When Jennifer wakes up, she feels peace. Deep, soul-level peace. Not because her life is perfect, but because she's living it, really living it. Not performing, not hiding, not playing small, living. And that's all her soul ever wanted. All any soul wants, to come to earth, to have experiences, to make choices, to grow, to learn, to love, to speak, to be fully, completely, authentically themselves. The library is still there. The books are still being written. The souls are still learning. And Jennifer is one of them. Part of the eternal dance of growth and evolution. Part of the beautiful, messy, sacred journey of consciousness experiencing itself in infinite forms across infinite lifetimes. She doesn't have all the answers. She doesn't need them. She just needs to keep choosing, keep speaking, keep growing, keep writing her story with courage and truth and love. And when this life ends, when she returns to the library, when she opens her book and reviews this lifetime as Jennifer, she wants to see golden light, breakthrough light, the light that means she did it. She learned what she came to learn. She spoke what she came to speak. She lived fully. That's the goal. That's the purpose. That's what matters. Not perfection, not acclaim, not external success, just living authentically, speaking truthfully, choosing bravely, one moment at a time, one choice at a time, one page at a time, writing a life worth reviewing, a story worth remembering, a journey that serves not just this lifetime, but all the lifetimes to come. Because it's not about one life. It's never been about one life. It's about the soul's eternal journey. And Jennifer is finally on the path her soul chose. Maybe you've felt it too, that sense of being more than just this one life, more than just this one story. And if the library felt real too, you, while listening, maybe your soul is calling you to remember, calling you to see your own book, your own journey, your own choice point, waiting for your courage. Subscribe for more journeys into the space between lives.